What's up, guys? So you guys want to know where the stock market's going? Let's look at the charts. But before we do, hit subscribe if you're new. Go back and watch a couple videos to learn about what this channel is all about. We're pretty much all about making money. Sometimes we lose money too, but we're trying to make that money. So really want to get into the charts and try to figure out where this thing's heading. Let's look at the futures. I got short today, and here's the reason why. Futures. You've got the NASDAQ futures. Here is your uptrend line right here, this vertical line that we made. This corresponds with just this recent rally that we've seen, kind of this choppy action, but rally in the stock market. The choppy action you can see here in the futures, up and down like crazy. But we broke the uptrend, we back tested, now we're starting to fail. So although if you're not looking at charts, maybe it seems like the market's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. What's really happening is you broke a trend, you back tested, and then you failed. So that's 1, 2, 3 moves. I think tomorrow, we get a sell-off. And I think actually we get it overnight. I could be wrong, but let's see. Let's look at the Qs. Here's something I've been looking at. This is kind of this uptrend line that corresponds with the NASDAQ futures. And again, I look at the Qs and I look at the tech stocks because the tech stocks are what's really held the market up over the last year and a half. So I'm looking for tech to fail to understand that the market's going to fail. There's no sectors that are going to all of a sudden do really well when tech's failing. It's going to be tech fails and everything fails with it. There are some stocks and there are some sectors that you can buy and you can go long, and I'm going to show you those here in a second. But for the most part, the stock market and the indices and the growth stocks, they're all going to fall when tech falls. Here is this little uptrend line that we've been in. Now this is just an hourly chart, so we're looking, we're really narrowing it in because we need to stay hyper focused on what's happening right now to understand where the market's going. And here's this uptrend line. You'll notice every single candle within this uptrend line was closing within trend. All right, so we established the trend back here. We held the trend right here, every hourly candle. Here we undercut the trend line right there. In the morning, it gapped down, but instantly snapped back and recovered and closed above trend. And then we closed above trend here. And here's our very first candle, which was today, that broke trend. And we basically had a close right here below the trend line, first candle, hourly candle in the entire trend line to do that, and then a follow-up selling candle. So we pretty much sold off all day. And here's your support line, 211.30. And I was watching that. It was contending with that all day. If I go to the 1-minute chart, you can see that we ran right down it, hit it, bounced off of it. Once you get that first reaction or that first bounce off of it, usually you're going to fail it the next time you come down and test it. We bounced it again right here, and then we started to fail, but it wasn't that impulsive. It was just this grinding action. I was trading this, and I was short, and I saw it kind of just, we weren't getting the follow through. It just kind of sold off, and then instantly another candle, they popped it back above, and then it was just chop zone the rest of the day. We just chopped it up and down the whole day. We closed above that level, and again, my level could be off slightly, but I think I'm right on because you see the 1 minute, it just tagged it perfectly. And 211.33, we closed above it, but not that impulsively, nothing to really, we were right at the level. And something I want you to take notice of. Yes, we closed above support, but look at the price action all day. Think about the market participants. We gap lower, we instantly ramp up, making everyone think the market's going to have an up day, and then it rejects, instantly fails, and sells all the way down to support. And then the rest of the day, we just struggle around support. There's no kickback really. So what this is this is not bullish. Usually when you run down and tag support, if you're bullish, the buyers step in right there at support. They buy at support, bid it up, and boom, off to the races you go. But when you run down and hit support and then just struggle and grind around and close right at support, the buyers aren't stepping in and buying at support. That's what that's telling me. So that's why I think we failed this level. And I think in the overnight session, we're probably going to run up and tag this little level right here, and then we just start to sell off. And we're going to run down to this, down to this next level in the futures. The Qs, where we going next? Well, let's see here. I think we're at least going to probably undercut these lows. It's hard to say, but I mean, let's just say 205.60 for now. Let's keep it right there. I think we get there tomorrow. 206. Sorry, no, 206 basically. I think we get to 206 tomorrow, and probably lower. We're probably going to run down and tag this line again around this 200. If we run down and tag this line, this purple line right here, then most likely we're gonna break it and undercut it. Probably gonna undercut the lows that we just made here, and that will be a real fake kind of a panic move. A lot of bulls will come scrambling really quick. It's gonna create a lot of panic, and I think that's where we're gonna end up. The purple line here, if to show anybody who's new, if I go to the 1 month chart, this is your bull market. All right, for the last decade, that's your purple line. So basically, we're still in the bull market, in trend, in triple Qs. I think we're going to run down and tag this, possibly break it. I mean, you can break this eventually. We broke it right here. This is when the Fed did their 180 when they were hiking rates and they flipped to cutting. The Fed did another emergency cut right in here. I think we're going to break. I think we're going to break it, but. And I say that because we've already broken that trend line on the S&P 500. And for anybody that's new, here's your bull market right here, trend line. We broke the trend line, we back tested, and now we're failing. So I think that this is the direction down. All right, I think that's the direction in the S&P 500, and I think that's going to be the same direction here in the triple Qs, the tech stock. I think we're going to break this eventually, probably break it, and start to head down. All right, I got some longer term targets out here. So that's bigger picture stuff. Let's get back into the hourly charts because that's really the more acute trading chart patterns that we want to look at. So I think Q's heads lower. I've made my case right there with breaking the uptrend line there. And I think that's going to play out. What else do we want to look at? This is an idea. Looking at this one, FUN, Cedar Park. I've been to this amusement park in Ohio. I used to live in Ohio. It's an amusement park. This is a dividend player, dividend stock, paying about a 10% dividend right now, which is cool. And this might be something that you could go long here soon. Here's what I'm looking at. Zoom it in on this is the daily chart. I can't even get close enough. But look, we've got support down here, depending on when we get down here. But we've got support around 34.50. And it just depends on when we actually get down there. If we maybe chop around, then come down. But we've got a trend line here. So mark that out. And I'll probably be looking to buy some down here. If we get a sell-off in the stock market, I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to run right down into support on this thing. I'm going to probably take a position on this long, of course. And that's when we hit support. It looks good. Here's your support right here. Here's your, it's kind of this broadening wedge or something. I don't even know what they call this one. But it looks good. And if I roll back, I was analyzing kind of a similar move back here. This is back during the last recession, this kind of a move. But you can get good rallies in a recession, so you don't have to necessarily be short every single day on a recession. There's plenty of good opportunities to be long when you're in a recession and in a bear market. It's just all about timing, and you want to buy at support. So that's kind of the same thing. You coming down, tagged it, had a nice plunge down right into support, tagged it, and had a nice kind of reversal right there. And that, of course, was right before a massive sell-off. But it doesn't mean that if we're in a bear market, we're going to get a massive sell-off. We might just get kind of a grinding action lower. We never know. But the point is, when you're at support, you can get a bounce, and it's a trade. So you don't necessarily have to hold it, but you can hold it for a while and let it run up to the top end. And if it pays a dividend in between then great. The move here doesn't look like much, but if you measure it out, this bounce here was a 47% bounce when it bounced from the support to the high. So rolling back to here, it looks very similar to me. So we could easily see, depending on when we get down here, but let's say we get up here, 59, 60% gain, something like that, depending on when we get there and, what takes place. There's an idea, FUN. Give me a thumbs up for, if you like some ideas. Hit that thumbs up right now. I appreciate that. Let's move over to gold. I don't have any other real trade ideas that I've been watching. Microsoft is something, here's your recent uptrend rally. We overshot it. Now we've broken down. And you can see here's like a back test where they kind of did this little fake out thing. And we're still kind of just chopping around, trading below. So I think we head lower in Microsoft. I think we reject here and start to head lower. So that looks like Apple. Apple's just kind of messy. I mean, here's support right here in Apple, but we broke down. We had the V bottom, kind of a V bottom. I can't call anything on Apple right now. Just it's not clean enough. KHC's moving higher. This one, this one's getting kind of messy too. I'm not going to make a call on this one either. You could potentially look at going long this, but it's, I think we head lower, to be honest. Just my gut feeling with the price action that we've seen. I mean, we don't have lower, like here's your uptrend that I was watching where we had higher lows, higher lows. And I thought maybe we were going to hold right in here and make a higher low and then start to make a higher high, but we didn't. We broke down, and now we don't have that same pattern. We've got a new low right here. So this might be just a high, and then we're going to roll down and make a new low. So the trend in this is actually down right now, so I don't really like it that much. Let's move into gold. So anybody that followed me into these kind of trades made some good money because these have killed it. And I really gave you guys the play-by-play on this one. I got this one right. So give me a thumbs up if you haven't hit that thumbs up. Again, go back and watch some videos. Go back and watch the video on the 28th. All right. Last month I put out a video on the 28th, and I would have given you the perfect position for a lot of these gold stocks. Here's gold, big sell-off, and it fell right down to support, 1564. Tagged it. We've run right back up. And again, when I saw it run down to support, I said, look, guys, all it's done is hit support. This is where you want to buy the stock at. It can always go lower. We can break support, but we're at support. We need to treat it with respect. And that's exactly what we did. So here's Barrick Gold. I bought Barrick Gold on that dip. I felt like that was just a gift, basically. But here's, big old drop. We had gold sell off hard when the market was just crashing. And that was just kind of an obvious tell to me that it was margin calls firing off, most likely. Forcing people to sell positions to cover the margin. And the brokerages were selling, if you own gold stocks as a hedge against a long position, well, you got murdered on those long positions and they forced you to sell your hedge to cover the losses on the long. And so those gold stocks were being forced selling, and that creates an opportunity. That's like, I've been telling people, that's like being forced to sell your brand new Mercedes-Benz for $5,000 to cover the divorce attorney fees. And you don't want to do it, but you got to do it. So that's what I saw there. I saw that as an opportunity. And look, here's your support right here. Nice clean support. I've had this doesn't move. I just keep this line there. We ran right down into support on Barrick. Boom, I added to it right there at the bottom. And I bought, a good amount, added to my kind of my core position holding. And since then, we've reversed right off that bottom, right off that support. We've gone straight up. And, from the bottom there, we're up 18.5%. So that's 18.5% gain if on whatever you took right there, maybe entered the position, whatever, in 5 trading days. That's not too bad. And we're going higher, most likely. If I go to the hourly chart, here's what I see. I see a couple things in this chart that just tells me that this is just a bullish chart pattern. One, you've got, okay, here's a bull flag right here. I thought I had this marked out earlier, but okay, here's a little flag. It's not a major flag, it's a little tiny flag. Here's your flagpole. All right, copy the flagpole. This is just a easy way to do it. It's not always extremely accurate, but put it to the bottom of where the stock broke out, and that gives you your major target. Let's roll that out. I can't quite see it on that chart. Oh, there it is. So the major target is 2340, and look at that. See that peak right there? Right up there? That sits right about 2340 as well. So the major target right now for this stock is right around 2340. You can step in a little early if you want to sell a little early. That's what I like to do. It could easily overshoot, but 2340 is the major target. I think we go a lot higher in the, but that's kind of a short-term target. We might run right up into that, hit some resistance, reverse a little bit, sell off, and then we can recycle back in when we start seeing a good entry level. So that's a possibility. Or you could just hold this thing long term. I mean, the larger time frame charts, the weekly, the monthly, they're bullish. So you don't have to necessarily sell when you run into a major target or resistance. You could just continue to buy at support, build positions, and let this thing continue to run its course. Because I think we're going all the way up here to 55. And honestly, I think we're probably going to about $100, $80, $90, $100. That might be kind of the top of this bull market in gold. But I think that's where that's going. So that's, 400% from where we're at right here. And another thing that you're looking at, I pointed this out, you got this inverse head and shoulders, you got the breakout. So just everything's clean in terms of the chart. And if we break above this 22, if we can break above this target of 2340, if you look, there's nothing here. I mean, the next resistance is 2780, and if we get above that, $55 is really the next point of resistance. So that's Barrick. Looks good. Let's watch for that. I'll come back and we'll see how this major target right here, how that plays out. But the point is that this price action that we see, when you had that big sell-off and instant reversal, nothing but bullish, basically. It continues to reaffirm that gold is in a bull market. And let's look at the dollar. This continues to confirm that dollar's in a, not really in a bear market, but it's selling off pretty hard. I mean, this is just a really sharp move down in the dollar. And so let's see if this continues. I think we're heading down here at least 94.50. I've been saying it. I think we actually get down there this time on this move. We should just continue to move straight down. So that's going to be bullish for gold. It's going to continue to be bullish for gold. Here's silver for anybody that likes silver. I got out at my SOV. They shook me out. They were successful in that. And the chart's just too sloppy right now. It's all over the place. I mean, this chart is sideways, but you've got this flag, and then we move to the upside, and then we gap down to the bottom side, and now we're moving back into the flag. I can't chart it accurately, but you can see the trend lines are still valid. Here's the run up. We pulled back a little bit right at this flag support, and now we're starting to move up. So we should move up to the top of this flag, right up in there, and we'll see. Maybe this breaks out and continues running. I got shaken out, and I'm gonna just continue to play some of these gold miners instead. AEM. This is something I think we're going to gap fill at this point. I think we're going to head up to 57.40. The reason why I say is we gapped down, ran right into support, bounced off of it, failed, came all the way back down, but started to hold, and then we've run right back into it again. Usually when you do that, you get the first reaction and then you roll over. If you're back up in that range again, you're usually going to pop it and move higher. So I think we're probably going to run up right into this 57.50 level and find some resistance right up in there, and then maybe we come back and down and tag this trend line and then start to just work our way higher, basically. That's most likely what's going to happen. we're in a bull market in gold, so this should continue to firm up. But I think we'll gap fill, come back down and tag support, and then run, continue to move higher in a bull market. Look at Newmont. Newmont's on a tear. This is the V bottom kind of thing. Here's your, this was your buying opportunity when the four sellers were forced to liquidate their gold positions, and then boom, straight up to the moon after that. I mean, if you bought that down at the low, if I can grab that candle, I think it's right about there. That thing's up 23% roughly, so that thing's killing it. Altogether, gold miners. This one I added on to my the Sabina one on that sell-off for selling day right here. Added to that. That one's doing okay. We're up 24% since that big sell-off, and continuing to look good. So that's it for the video, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to continue to put out the content as long as you guys continue to continue to motivate me with comments and thumbs ups and all that. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.